We're going to dig into one of the oldest, most profound questions in all of human history. Why does the world, seem so stuck in this cycle of suffering? Well, the answer we're exploring today might be a lot closer than you think. I mean, have you ever just looked around at the news, at history, even just at the patterns in our own lives, and you just get this feeling that we've seen this all before? We make all this progress. We build better systems, we have incredible technology, we try to educate people, and yet somehow the same old darkness just finds a way to creep back in. The stories are the same, just with different names and different dates, and it really makes you wonder why. What if we've been looking in the completely wrong place for the problem? What if the root issue isn't our environment or our politics or our bank accounts, but something much, much closer to home? Something inside. Now, think about this quote for a second. The prophet Jeremiah wrote this thousands of years ago, and he wasn't talking to some foreign enemy. He was talking to his own people, to religious people. This was a diagnosis of the human condition itself, basically saying the heart can't be trusted to fix its own problems. And then, centuries later, you see Jesus saying the exact same thing. He doesn't point the finger at the Roman government or the economy. No, he points directly inward. He says the source of all this brokenness, it comes from within. It starts in the human heart. So right there, that's the big difference. See, we tend to focus on fixing behavior on the outside. Pass another law, start another program. But the perspective here is that God's focus is way deeper. He's looking at the underlying nature that's causing the behavior in the first place. In this diagnosis, it actually gets even more intense. The Apostle Paul doesn't say our natural state is just kind of neutral or maybe a little confused. The word he uses is hostile. It suggests this active resistance, an inner pushback against God, against light, against truth. Just let that word land for a second. Not broken, not just misguided. Hostile. I mean, that's a really powerful statement about the conflict that's going on deep down inside of us. Okay, but this brings up a fair question, right? The whole nature versus nurture thing. You might be thinking, well, if you just created a perfect world with no injustice or anything bad, wouldn't that solve the problem? It's a good question, and the biblical story actually runs that exact experiment. So, prophecy talks about this future 1,000-year period where Christ reigns on earth. It's a perfect environment, perfect justice, perfect peace for a whole millennium. But then, at the very end, when the source of external temptation is let back in for just a short time, a huge number of people still choose to rebel. And that right there is the stunning conclusion. Even in a perfect world, the heart that hasn't been changed still chooses rebellion. And that proves it. The problem was never the world around us. The problem was always, and still is, within. Now, I know this all sounds pretty heavy, but please hear this. It's not meant to be a condemnation. It's a diagnosis. And you know what? You can only find the right cure when you have the right diagnosis. And this is where the story pivots, towards hope. And there's this beautiful logic to it. The solution has to fit the problem, right? If the problem is internal, deep inside the heart, then the cure has to be internal too. It has to be a transformation of the heart itself. And the reason for this cure? It's not anger. It's not frustration. The whole thing starts with love. That's the foundation. It's this profound, incredible love for the entire world. This is so important to understand. The cross wasn't God's reluctant plan B. It was the ultimate, proactive move of a God who was pursuing us. He's on a rescue mission to bring back the very people whose hearts are hostile toward him. And maybe this is all starting to feel a little personal. You know that quiet inner pull away from what's right? That little argument inside your head against surrender? That resistance that you can't even really explain? Well, from this perspective, that struggle isn't proof that you're too far gone. It's actually the opposite. It's the evidence. It's the symptom that proves you need the cure. It is proof that you need a savior. In this savior, Jesus Christ, he isn't some conqueror who's going to kick down the door to your heart. No. The picture we're given is of someone who stands at the door and knocks. He doesn't force his way in. He doesn't shame you. He invites. So we end up coming full circle. We started by asking about the state of the world, and we spend so much time debating that, don't we? Worrying about headlines, about where everything is going. But what if that's the wrong question entirely?
Because in the end, the most important question isn't about the world out there. It's intensely personal. It's this: has my heart been made new? Because the new world we're told about doesn't belong to people living in a perfect place. It belongs to people who have been perfectly renewed from within.